close, man.
Yeah. See him? The limbo. See him, honey? Thank you, baby. We have to go over there.
Right here.
And unless we get to the end of this ride, if you didn't like it, remember my name was Bob. Anyway, got a couple of things to go over with you. Very important things. For instance, Chip, where are the bathrooms? Get to be my age, it's very important. We got two at that end of the car. I got one right behind me, our concession car. Two cars that way. Moms and dads, if we've got little ones under the age of about 10, 11, and they want to go to the concession car, let's make sure an adult goes with them. You see, these vestibules will move in opposite directions while we're underway. And we don't want to get any little hands pinched this afternoon. Now, I'm going to refer to this side of the car as the riverside. This side is the mountainside. When we get up to McKaysville, we're going to be stopped for about 10 minutes, and we will change sides. I've got sort of an orderly way of doing that. I'm always open to suggestions. We'll deal with that here in an hour when we get up there. once again, this is an express run today. We do not get off of the train in McKaysville. Now, if you guys want, and feel free to take as many pictures as you'd like, but if you're one of them folks who likes to hang halfway off the car with your cell phone to get that all-important selfie, hang on to that cell phone. You see, if you drop it, we don't stop the train to pick it up. But if you do drop one, let me know, and I'll try to get a mile marker for you so you know how far back you have to walk, pick up your phone, and get back to Blue Ridge this afternoon, all right? Now, I'm going to, like I said, refer to this side of the riverside, this side of the mountainside. The voice is going to try to give you a little bit of information. I'm going to try to catch up, give you a little more information on things you're seeing along the way. I'm going to try to give you a history of the line that you're on, and we may or may not do some of Chip's worthless trivia today. So sit back and enjoy. The voice is going to talk to you, and then I'll pick it back up after the voice. Thank you.
Express, we're not going to stop.
After the train has begun to move,
Nice long. Get up! What is wrong, man?
Well, it doesn't sound like the voice is going to talk to us this afternoon. So what it does, it gives you some safety information. So I'm just going to summarize it for you. Always be safe. Passing under the art gallery. Some of our local artists like to display their work here. Now keep an eye out both sides of the train. We quite regularly see both deer and turkey. We saw deer this morning on the way up. This is my 7th season on the train. I've never seen a bear from the train. But if we come across a bear, any of the ladies want to wrestle the bear? I always got one. Good girl. Brings you your first little bit of Chip's worthless trivia this afternoon. Legendary football coach, Alabama's Bear Bryant, earned his nickname when he was in high school. He was hired by a carnival to wrestle a bear. Obviously, the nickname stuck. That came out of his autobiography. Your first little bit of Chip's worthless trivia. By the way, he beat the bear. Now, on the riverside, and actually a little bit on the mountainside, we are passing the Feed Fannin Community Garden. This is a garden club with a charitable mission. They grow a lot of good stuff during the growing season for our food banks and some of the more needy folk in the area. Good bunch to get to know. Now, while I mentioned it a little bit ago that it appears Andrew's driving today, I can tell by the length of the horn. There's actually a pattern to that horn. In just a minute, he's going to toot it, because he toots it 12 times between Blue Ridge and McKaysville. He's required by federal law to toot it at every crossing. But there's a pattern to that horn, and that is a tradition brought over to American railroading in the 1800s, sent over by the railroaders in Great Britain as they started to migrate to America. So listen up here in just a minute. That boy likes to play on that horn. Anyway, if you're able to pick it out, he's hitting two long blasts, a short blast, and a long blast. That is the letter Q in Morse code. And when the British railroaders were doing it in the 1800s, they were paying homage to Queen Victoria. They brought that to America, still used today. Next time you're stuck at a crossing with an approaching train, you're going to know what that horn is. Now guys, the line you're riding on today was originally charted in 1870 as the Marietta North Georgia Railway. Originally it was laid down as a narrow gauge. And what they wanted to do was go north to Murphy, North Carolina, and turn west along the Hiawassee River to go up to Knoxville. Now, when they got up to Murphy, they were not able to acquire the property to turn west, and so they came back to this point. We refer to this as Murphy Junction. The tracks you see on the riverside here leading off into the woods, that is the Murphy Junction. At one time, those tracks went up to Murphy. They never turned west, though. They joined the Southern Railway, went over to Asheville from Murphy. Today, those tracks only go about 10 miles up the line. They go to a place known as Mineral Bluff. Up in Mineral Bluff, there is still a depot. It is on the National Register of Historic Places. It's occupied by a model railroad club that has modeled this area in HO scale. They're open several Saturdays throughout the year. If you get a chance to visit, it's well worth your time. They also give motor car rides up there. Motor cars were used by the railways for track maintenance purposes. Today this creates a large triangle. In a minute you're going to see the return track of the Murphy Junction. We use it if we have to turn train cars around or do engine maintenance, something like that. So, originally laid down as a narrow gauge, chartered as the Marietta North Georgia Railway. They started hauling timber out of North Georgia. They were hauling marble out of Tate, Georgia. We still haul it out of there today. And they even created the first tourist industry. You see, the town of Blue Ridge did not exist before the railroad reached that point. Once the railroad reached that point, one of the owners of the railroad laid out the town, sold off the lots, created the town of Blue Ridge. See, they figured out early on known those folks in Atlanta like to get out of that hot summertime heat up into the cooler mountain air, and so they started running passenger service for that specific purpose. Now, over the next 30 years, this railroad went through 6 different owners, kept having financial problems, run out of money, somebody else would buy them up. They eventually did reach Knoxville, Tennessee, along this route. And they picked up the commerce from the copper mines in Hayesville. Now we're going to take a time out from the history real quick. On the mountainside over here, coming into view is the Painter family farm. Mr. Painter started with the L&N Railroad in the 1930s, making less than 50 cents a day. 11 children were born and raised in that farmhouse, and the farm is still in the Painter family today. One of the daughters lives there. She's in her 80s, we're able to see her out quite regularly. By the way, that little creek you see running in front of us is known as Dry Creek. So it may appear as that on GPS. I've never seen it that didn't have water in it, but that's what they call it. We'll pass over it a couple of times before we reach the river. Now, finish up on the history real quick. 1901, the L&N Railroad, that's Louisville and Nashville, purchased the line. They purchased the line because they were trying to get into the Atlanta market, compete against the Southern Railway, which had been a dominant railway in the Atlanta market. It was cheaper to purchase an existing route than put in a new one. First thing they did was expand this from a narrow gauge to a standard gauge. Standard gauge in America being 1.8 inches. That standard was adopted during Abraham Lincoln's administration, still used today. Now, coincidentally, they believe that gauge is another thing that was brought over to American railroading from Great Britain. You see, 4 foot 8.5 inches wide was also the width of the Roman battle chariots during the Great Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire occupied the British Isles for close to 600 years. So they believe all they did when they started putting down track was put it in the ruts left by the chariots over that occupation time. And that created the gauge we now know today as standard gauge. So the L&N, that's Louisville and Nashville, now part of the CSX network, operated this main line for the next 81 years until 1983. In 1983, they closed the mines down in McKaysville. So there really wasn't any real intelligent reason to run freight this far north of Atlanta anymore. Then by this time they had created another line about 50 miles west of us that's still in use today. So they applied for abandonment. The abandonment was granted and they abandoned the line. And it remained abandoned until 1997. In 1997, some local citizens, as well as the owners of the Georgia Northeastern Railway, which is still our freight operation south of us, they're owned by the same company that owns us, Patriot Rail, out of Jacksonville, Florida. They decided to establish the Blue Ridge Scenic Railway, which you guys are enjoying today. They literally had to hand clear these tracks because of the amount of growth that had occurred during that time that it was shut down. And on Memorial Day in 1998, the very first Blue Ridge Scenic Railway left the station. Now, it left the station with an engine and 3 passenger cars. Well, folks, we've grown a little bit since then. The train you guys are on today has 2 engines, 11 passenger cars, 2 cabooses. This afternoon, we left the station with 535 passengers on board.
They had good money.
Now, I want to point out 2 more things, and one just passed us over here. On the riverside, you're going to periodically see telegraph poles. Those telegraph poles have been in the ground. There's one past us right now. Well over 100 years. Telegraphs were used by the railways to communicate between stations using Morse code. They used that technology till just after World War II. when voice communications became possible between the engines. And on the mountainside, you're going to see little white mile markers. Those are the mileage points between there and Louisville, Kentucky, which was the home office of the L&N Railroad. Now, it does look as though Andrew, our engineer, has reached our top cruising speed of a blistering 12 to 15 miles per hour. Is the puppy out? Seen this afternoon. He was out this morning. And that is roughly the speed the engines would have traversed these tracks back when this was a main line. And folks, that's the longest I have to talk to you today.
Yeah, see, I got that's I keep talking. By the way, folks, the pass of the smallest church in Georgia. They have an open door policy. Look at the lighting. Oh.
Folks, this is Ronnie, our maintenance guy, man. He's the guy who keeps the train, the toilets working on the train. By the way, yeah, big job. By the way, Ronnie has received a big honor. Ronnie is this month's featured maintenance guy in Maintenance Guy Illustrated. You can pick that up at a newsstand near you. By the way, that is the swimsuit issue. got some of the little shacks up on the hill. And those of y'all over here on the riverside have noticed the river. Now this is the Toccoa River. It is one of the few rivers in North America that flows northbound. Those of y'all from Florida also knows the St. John's flows north. Now this is controlled by dams at either end. There's a dam up at Lake Blue Ridge. There'll be a dam north of where we'll be stopped when it becomes the Ocoee River. Now from there it flows into the Ocoee River Gorge. That gorge is where they ran the whitewater events for the 1996 Summer Olympics. And if you come back between Memorial Day and Labor Day, you can whitewater raft that Olympic course. It's one of the more intense rafting experiences. In fact, people bring their lunch, sit on the bank just to watch you flip in your raft. This part of the river is used real heavily for recreational purposes. Fishing, they do stock it. You'll see people tubing, swimming in the summertime. Now, while we're talking about the river, I'm just going to go ahead and cover this because I get asked it regularly. The movie Deliverance. Deliverance was not filmed on this river. It was filmed over in the Tallulah Gorge, over in Rabun County, about 50 miles east of us. For those of y'all not familiar with the movie Deliverance, it was a nice little romantic comedy. It came out in 1972. It earned a Best Picture nomination in 1973. It did not win the Best Picture, however. Anybody want to take a guess what movie won Best Picture? 1973.
Right, y'all asked about this gray house here. Last summer sold for $998,000.
came through here in the 1950s. Now this house we're passing over here on the riverside, when they were running passenger service, that was a passenger station for the L&M Railroad. Somebody's made them a nice little river house out of it. sold for $1.2 million.
Oh, you got the shades, man. What you got? There's your shades. There you go.
By the way, if we've got any moms and dads that have little ones that need a changing room while we're underway, just get my attention. I'll point you in the direction of the closest one.
Good, I would say.
sous vide, things like that out there. Now, we are approaching the only part of this trip. I'm going to ask everybody, please sit down. Moms and dads, if we've got little ones that are hanging out on the edge, have them sit back on the seat with you, please. We are approaching the steel railway bridge, and the girders on the bridge are real close to the car. So we don't want to get anybody hurt going over it. So like I said, everybody please stay seated. Bring the little ones on the seats with you. By the way, this bridge is 117 years old. Structurally, though, I don't want you to be concerned. You see, we do stress test it twice a day.
You're aware of the PA scan, right?
Yeah, I ain't heard it all day.
Yeah.
Well, so we're having a whole ride without Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. Selling the concession car. We got that free right now.
Mark this.
Okay.
I make it with Charlie next to the
Feel free to move about again, let the little ones hang on the edge. Not over the edge. Now we are approaching McKaysville, Georgia, Copper Hill, Tennessee. Like I said, we get stopped up here, we'll change sides. I'll explain it to you in a minute. Copper Hill and McKaysville are the mining community. They mined copper here starting in 1840. Remember I said the railroad didn't get here till in the 1880s. Before the railroad got here, they moved the copper product down along what was known as the Copper Road, went along the Ocoee River Basin over to Cleveland, Tennessee, where they picked up the railhead over there. Now, had we visited while the mines were operating, things would have been vastly different. You wouldn't have seen any trees or grass or any, even the kudzu didn't grow here. One of the byproducts from smelting the copper created an acid rain effect, which killed all of the foliage for about a 20-mile radius of the mines. I've been told what the chemical was, I don't remember, methylethyl bad stuff or something. Anyway, apparently whatever the chemical was not detrimental to people. You see, they've got a whole bunch of 80 and 90-year-olds have lived up here their whole life and they're doing just fine. How many of y'all remember Sears and Roebuck? Yeah, man, we all do. If you're my generation, you couldn't wait on that Christmas catalog to reach it. See if you figure out what Santa was going to bring you. If you were a generation before mine, well, that catalog did double duty. Now, where I'm going with this for the younger folks is Sears was a forerunner to Amazon. You could get anything out of Sears, including a house. And in just a few minutes on the mountainside, we're going to pass 3 Sears and Roebuck houses. And the way that worked, you had about 60 different floor plans to choose from. You'd send your money to Sears. Sears would drop everything on your lot right down to the kitchen sink. And if you had a Sears house, you didn't have to cut a single board. They all came pre-cut and numbered. Of course, you use your craftsman tools to build your house. Sears had that program right up until World War II. They had to discontinue the program because of the war, and they never picked it back up again after. I'll point out the houses when we reach them.
change side. Basically,
We're not slick slime suds, and that's
All right, the Sears and Roebuck houses are coming up, starting with the one with the green roof and the green shutters. Then you've got the black roof and black shutters, and the one with the orange door. Sears and Roebuck houses, they were built here in the 1920s and 30s. When those houses were sold by Sears, they cost less than $600.
Tom, Cape Cod.
Oh, there she is. She can carry if I wave with Captain. She's out for every train.
That's a Sears house. That's a Cape Cod.
behind you.
Comes out and waves in every train.
Behind
What you got? Well, you know, that just happens to be the way it is.
Drop truck. Good one. Congratulations on the family.
When he gets back to the biggest part of the hill, he'll hit about Mach 6 or 7, you know, getting the speed up, and then it'll slow down. That's the biggest part of the hill. But down there where the power line is coming across, that's the biggest part of the hill.
Do they have sand?
Around that nose holds 5 tons sand. They flip the switch and blows sand on the time to get up.
building with the orange door, the black roof, and the green roof. Might have been aware that we were going to McKaysville. We actually dropped 325 feet of elevation. So we've been slowly regaining it as we go back up the hill here. But we're hitting the steepest portion of the grade. And so you're going to feel the train slow a little bit to get up and over the hill here. Now back in the days when hobos rode the rails, these areas were called hobo hills, because the trains would have to slow to get up the inclines, the hobos would use the opportunity to jump on and off the rails. They wouldn't do it in the railroad yards because they get chased by the railroad police. So we have our very own hobo hill here. By the way, the word hobo first appeared in the American language shortly after the American Civil War and is short for homeward bound.
Pull your pants up, okay?
Doing all right?
Go ahead, go on. Well, what do you think, Beth?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Thank you. Yeah, let's put this in there. Let me squirt you. I got trash. Got some trash. Well, let's get it here. All right.
Folks, we'll be back in the station momentarily. I want to thank y'all for riding. You've truly been a fantastic group for an afternoon trip. Thank you very much. Want y'all to have a safe rest of your vacation. You guys have a safe trip home. Come back and see us again on the Blue Ridge Scenic Railway. When we exit, we're going to exit down at that end of the car down there. Thank you very much, folks.
food out all through the trip.
And here.
Here's the chicken